Have you ever been in this situation wherein you were delivering a big presentation and you completely ran out of thoughts? Some people asked you some questions that you could not answer. All of a sudden you had a lot of anxiety, you had butterflies in your stomach, and you felt as if the entire world is against you. And you started to feel that, I wish someone could come and save my life. Someone could come and deliver this presentation on my behalf. You wanted to escape from that moment. And then finally you gave up. Ladies and gentlemen, if this has happened with you, congratulations, because you're not alone. We all are humans, we have feelings, and at times we are just not able to manage our feelings. We are not just able to manage our anxiety. And there are fundamental reasons for that. Either we are not prepared, either we don't know the arts and science of delivering a good presentation that we are going to talk in this presentation today, or we have not practiced enough. In this video, I'm going to talk about how to deliver a presentation like a world-class presentator. There will be some tips and tricks, but before I go ahead and jump into this video, I would suggest you something. Last week on Sunday at 8 p.m, I released a video, what to do even before you deliver a presentation. Because you have to prepare yourself, you have to practice a lot, right? In that video, I spoke about some pre-shot routine. You have to have coffee, you have to do meditation, you have to do breathing exercise, you have to prepare your message, your objective based upon the audience that you have. So now you are completely prepared to deliver the presentation. You have to crack on from there, right? Now you're ready to crack on. I'm going to talk about in this video today how to deliver a world-class presentation. So let's dive deep into this. I will go and deliver this presentation, deliver this video in 3 parts. The first part, I will be talking about how to start a presentation, because the objective here is to gain the maximum attention from the audience. The middle part, the maximum, the duration that I will be covering, that will be how to deliver a presentation, right? That core content that you will be delivering. And at the end, the part 3, I will be talking about how to end the presentation on a high note so that people are hooked. So objective here, the best presentation can be assessed on the basis of the level of engagement that you can get from your audience. So as a speaker, as a presenter, we always dream that our audience is engaged right from the beginning to the end of the presentation, right? So let's quickly discuss about our part 1, which is how to start a presentation. Now, starting a presentation can be done in a several different ways. But I have few of my favorite ways. I have defined 3 ways of how you can start a presentation. Number 1, you can always start with a question, because in the beginning of a presentation, you want to gain the maximum attention from the audience. Because when audience is there, they're waiting for the presenter, they're waiting for you to start on the Zoom meeting or in the physical setup. They're casual, they are in their own different positions. You just want them to have a focus on your presentation and on yourself, right? So how can you gain the attention? Starting with a question is the best way. Second method could be, you can start with any good quote, because generally we are hardwired to listen to quotes, read quotes, to people get hooked, right? People get hooked. The third way could be some statement. Like, for example, I always say, I remember. When you say I remember, people are going to get hooked and ask themselves, okay, what next? What Tauseef is going to remember, or what ABC person is going to remember, right? The second statement that I usually use is that there is something common among all of us. When you talk about commonality, people love to be included into something. We all love to be inclusive, right? You're making other people, you're including other people into something that you are going to talk about. People get hooked about that. And the third statement could be, imagine for a moment. As soon as you say imagine for a moment, people get hooked, because they all start imagining, because you're making them imagine something, right? So these 3 statements are a way to start your presentation by telling a story. Remember, we are hardwired to listen to stories, right? So if you start your presentation by any quick story, people will get hooked, right? So these are 3 ways of how you can start your presentation. And right from the time when you start your presentation, remember, now you discuss about your agenda, because now people are ready to listen to you. They are hooked. You have gained their attention. Now you're ready to deliver your presentation. Now talk about your agenda, because you want to tell the people, tell the audience what you're going to discuss. And also do not forget to discuss about where you are taking your audience from and where you are taking them to, like point A to point B. What is your message, right? Remember, let's say, for example, you're going to discuss in a presentation, how can you help a company to increase their turnover from 10,000 crore to 100,000 crore, right? I'm exaggerating this, but I'm just giving you an example, right? So you have to give a point A and point B so that they can visualize where you are going to take this presentation to, where you are going to basically end, right? Now you have started. Do not forget, now we are into delivering the content. We are almost in the middle of the presentation. You have to deliver the core content. This is going to be the part 2. So part 2 is all about you're delivering the core content. You're discussing about your presentation, the message that you have, the content that you have prepared, okay? So I'm not sure if you have heard about the 55, 33 and 7% rule. This is a study done by Albert Mehrabian. According to this study, it says that the communication gets constituted by 3 things, out of which only 7% is content. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, don't get surprised, because what you're talking, what you're speaking is just 7%. 33% is your vocal variety, and 55% is our body language, how we use our hand, how we smile, how we use our eye contact. So let's quickly dive deep into this part 2. So first thing is that when you are delivering a presentation, right from the beginning to the end, you have to maintain your body language. First of all, you have to maintain your eye contact. If you are into the Zoom meeting, make sure that your eye contact with the people is the camera lens. If you're speaking in a public setup, in a physical setup, you have to follow this technique. Change the sentence and change the person. For example, you will take about 4 to 5 seconds to finish a sentence, right? So maintain eye contact with one person for 4 to 5 seconds and change it to the next person and then change it to the next person. This is how you can give a respect to everybody, by making a contact with the maximum number of people in the audience. Remember last time when you sat in the audience and the speaker was very renowned speaker and he maintained an eye contact with you for a second, you felt special, right? So why would you not give that same treatment to the person you are speaking to or to the people you are speaking to? So maintain an eye contact. No matter which setup you are speaking in, virtual or physical, your hands do the talking. Remember, your body speaks even before you speak. So usage of hand is very significant. How you use your hands determines and exhibits whether you're confident or whether you're underconfident. One method that I always recommend to the people is, if you take an Amazon box, which is like this big, right? And you just keep moving your hand on the right side and the left side. And if you want to practice this, take that box in your hand and deliver a speech. Right? Because you don't want to just exaggerate like sometimes I do. I make a fun of me because I use the expressive method at times, and you can do that when you become habitual in speaking, right? So use your hands. Don't slouch, because using your shoulder is very important. Your body posture talks about your confidence. So sit. If you're sitting, sit straight. If you're standing, stand straight. And now leg, if you are delivering a physical presentation, remember, if you have a space, claim your space. If you're standing still like a news anchor and delivering the presentation, it will be very monotonous. People would not be interested to listen to you, right? Now, you smile. If it is required, please do smile, right? Because we all are humans. We love smiling faces. We love if somebody smiles, right? That is what will differentiate you from a mediocre speaker. A presentation requires this, right? So this was body language. Now, one very important tip. Along with body language, you have to maintain your vocal variety. What emotions to add, where to lower down your volume, where to increase your volume. So I usually use this average piece, right? When you're delivering your presentation, make sure that you sound authoritative, right? You should not be sounding very low and you should not be sounding very high. It should be something which is pleasant for everybody, because you are speaking for public, you're not speaking for yourself, right? So you have to take into consideration what people love, right? So use your vocal variety. And then the content is king. Regardless of the fact that it is just 7%, but remember, what you speak, the content piece, determines a lot whether people will listen to you, whether people will be interested, till the end or not, right? So prepare on your content well before your presentation, and do not forget to do a lot of rehearsal, practice, because that is what makes a man perfect, right? One very significant tip before we move into the third part of the presentation is maintain your rate of speech. At times we forget and we start rambling, we start speaking too fast, which is not very easy for the people to comprehend what you're talking about, right? So maintain a normal rate of speech, talk slowly wherever it is necessary, if you do not have a scarcity of time. That is very important, right? Now, second part is done. You are done with delivering the content. And before I move to the third part, I just recalled one thing. If you are delivering a virtual presentation and using the PPT, before flipping the page, always ask this: does anybody has got any question? If you do so, people will feel respected that yes, before Amir, before Tauseef or Ram or Sham, before he is flipping the page, he is asking the question if somebody has it. People feel respected. And if you are into a physical setup, don't mind doing that also, because that is applicable there as well, right? And always inform the audience in advance that you have designated a Q&A section at the end. If you have informed that, then I don't feel that you should be asking every time that do you have any questions, right? Because people would know already that you have designated a slot for a Q&A session. Now let's move into the third part of the presentation, which is never forget to recap. Most of the time what happens, if it is a long presentation, humans have a tendency to forget. They cannot retain all of the information. But at times when you recap all of the things that you have covered, it helps people, it helps the audience to remember things. Because I always say this, that learning does not lies in studying, learning lies in reflecting. So when you recap and reflect, you get to learn a lot of things, right? And the last part is that never forget to give some action to the people. Your content should be designed in such a way that it should give a call to action. It should give some action insights. If you're delivering a presentation to executives, your management, your leaders, it should give some insights to them so that they feel enabled to take the right decisions. And if you're giving the presentation to the people who are of same authority with you, who are your colleagues, make sure that you motivate them, inspire them, and give them some actions so that once your presentation is done, they're ready with a couple of actions that they can take, and that will add value in their life. So ladies and gentlemen, this is how you can deliver a world-class presentation. In case if you think that you have some more suggestions, feel free to put your comments in the comment section below. I would encourage you all. I love the feedbacks. I love the opinions of the people. Maybe I will definitely go ahead and try to cover all of those points in the videos to come on the next Sundays, on the upcoming Sundays. And if you have any kind of feedback, if you want me to make videos on any other topics that you're struggling with, Tauseef would be ready to do that, okay? Please do not forget to subscribe the channel, because I'm making the content which is going to add value. Remember, this is 1 o'clock in the night. I'm making this video, right? And interacting with all of you guys. Okay, so I would just call it a day, and I would love to meet you next Sunday in the next video. Till then, bye-bye.